for everybody for coming out. So what we're about to do is we're about to have the players come in. If everybody would like to go over there on the other side of the red velvet, like this side, the right side of the red velvet ropes, that way you guys can get pictures. That would be definitely encouraged. But yeah, we're about to just go ahead and get this thing started. Next up, we have Joey Wright. Next, we have Jacob Sheets. Next, we have Gage Cheetle. Woo! Next, we have Joey Pfeiffer. Next, we have Silas Stewart. Next, we have Aiden Dunn. Next is Gunnar the Stunner McCullough. Next is Ben Griffin. Next we have Kaden Cutright. And last but not least, we have Blake Hoots. Woo! So because we don't have everybody here in the first round, I'm just going to go ahead and list off the first 5 picks, and then we'll go ahead and bring up the first guy that is here. So first round, Team Adam selected Braylon Robertson from Paint Valley, a running back. Second pick, Paint Valley wide receiver Carson Bree went to Team Justin. Buddy Wilson of Piketon went to Team Todd. Sean Terry III, a wide receiver out of Ironton, went to Team Bill. Team Clay selected Nate Dretzler, a running back out of Medina. And then with the 6th pick, Tony selected Joey Wright, and our first guy was... Joey, this is where we can come up here and get your certificate. So we'll step over here so we can get you the camera. A little handshake here. And then if you would like a photo op, you can get
Ride the Wave High School Fantasy Football Draft. I have the Mr. SVC Shane Combs with me, and I have the legendary defensive coordinator at Pate Valley, Joey Holbert. Guys, thank you so much for being here for this great event for us today.
Appreciate you having us.
All right, so we did have that first round. Go ahead and go through, guys. I'll kind of go ahead and go through the list. I think it might have been no surprise. We have Braylon Robertson going number 1 overall, followed by Carson Free, Buddy Wilson. Sean Terry from Ironton goes a little late there. He's kind of a dual threat guy, getting a lot of catches and a lot of handoffs. Then we have Nate Dreitzler from Adina going to me. And then the last pick of the draft and our first attendee, Joey Wright, being in here. Combs, I'll go to you first. What are some maybe surprises in the first round, or were your thoughts after that first round?
I don't know that I would say there's any surprises. Obviously, those particular names that you rattled off there are really legit. They're guys that their particular teams are going to count on for a lot of bulk in terms of carries and opportunities each and every Friday night. So, no, I don't know that it would be fair to label any of those surprises. Certainly a pretty impressive list of young men.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. You know, I wouldn't label any of those surprises. I do kind of want to see, you know, with Adam getting Braylon Robertson pick 1 here, Joey, just going out as a fantasy way, you know, he was the leading fantasy back last year. So it's kind of, you know, do you think Adam goes another running back double up there, or do you think the smart move maybe grab a wide receiver after seeing 2 go off the board in the first round there?
Yeah, I've been trying to study your fantasy league here, get a real feel for it. I know there's a lot of touches that come involved, matters a lot, yardage, and then actually getting to pay dirt. Of course, Robertson's going to get to pay dirt. That's going to be a big thing. So you're racking up 6 points at a time there. So you know, you start to look at that. You start to look at how many times a quarterback. What are they throwing? How many chances do they get to throw it? So you might start looking at a Piketon with that, looking to throw it. You know, they're not tested at quarterbacks. It's still a couple different things to look at there. I know Southeastern's got a quarterback that gets a lot of opportunities to throw it. So that might be an interesting pick in the second round.
I think that would be a very, very interesting pick. That is one team where I am going to be not surprised, but anxious to see where those Southeastern players go, you know, because they have high volume and they produce, kind of like we've been talking about. I feel like whenever you kind of go into fantasy, obviously you want to go running back, you know, first, because that's going to be an important position. But I want to take your thoughts on this, Combs, real quick. We see Carson Free and we see Sean Terry, 2 wide receivers, go in the first round. Now, Carson Free being on the same team as Braylon Robertson, do you think that, you know, it could be hard to feed a wide receiver when I have a good running back like that? Or do you think Pate Valley's offense is going to be enough balance to share the workload through those 2 players?
Well, I know in the fantasy world, obviously, the one ball to go around is always a discussion.
Right.
But if you look at that Pate Valley offense a year ago, they averaged about 42 a game, and you could argue that they're better. I mean, they're certainly older. And they have a lot of weapons. So throughout the course of 4 quarters, you feel like there's enough to spread the wealth, so to speak. But that's certainly a legitimate question. I know Zane Trace's got a couple dynamic playmakers, and then you go around the league and you get that discussion all the way down the board. I know, you know, Gallian's going to spread it around to a lot of pass catchers and so forth. So that's a fair point. I mean, you always have to look at those types of things too. The coach in me, you know, gets locked into the intangibles and the chemistry and all those things. On the fantasy side, certainly opportunity plays a big role in that.
Absolutely, and I think we do have the second round coming up now, so let's see how this goes.
The first pick of the second round being Nolan Johnson, a running back from Jackson. And then the second pick of the second round, the only gentleman here from this round, we have Kaden Cutright.
Go to the middle. Very fitting for a Unioto wide receiver to get that high off the board here. And very well dressed. I gotta say, I love the shoes. The whole getup of Kaden Cutright. He is a high draft pick dresser, that is for sure as well.
And then to finish out this round, we have Luke Golian, a quarterback from Piketon, going third to Team Todd. We have Preston Farber, a quarterback from Paint Valley, going to Team Bill. We have Jaden Hutchison from Hillsborough going to Team Clay. And we got Julian Baker, from a running back from Miami Trace, going to Team Tony.
Alrighty, so we have Kaden Cutright over here with us after going pick 2 in the second round. Kaden, first and foremost, we got to talk about that shirt is amazing. Your whole get up here. So I got to ask, did you do it yourself? Did you have some help with anybody with your get up tonight?
I ordered it on Amazon Tuesday and got it this morning.
So Amazon comes in clutch again. Same place we got the red carpet. So, Amazon here for anything you need. Hashtag not a sponsor. So, Kaden, we want to talk to you. First off, thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for being a part of this great event. What does it mean to you just kind of going so early off the board here to Team Justin Hudnall?
It feels pretty good. Thankful that he can count on me to get some points for him. So
now we do know you guys have a quarterback change there at Uniota this year. How are you and Blake Hoops and the other wide receivers kind of going about that this year, also being a senior year after the success that you had last year?
Just working the off season and on the off days getting the rest we need and working on the field like we do with like we did with Newton. So
right.
Yeah, we just kind of gotta put it in replace of Newton to David. So.
Gotcha. Coach, did you have any questions for Kaden here?
Yeah, the biggest thing that jumps out to me is all the different places on a Friday night you impact the game. Just talk to us a little bit about the willingness or the ability Coach Hoops puts on you to try to impact it, offense, defense, special team, whatever it may be. It just seems like you were in the middle of a lot of big plays last year. You take some pride in that?
Yeah, I'm really thankful that Matt puts me in that, what's the word for it?
That kind of like role and stuff?
Yeah, so it's nice he can put me in that role and that he can trust me in that and any play that he needs me to put in, so it's nice.
It's going to be a big thing on the defensive side as well for you because, you get that PPR for the interceptions as well, which is something that you were big on last year. So I am very sad I did not get him. Holbert, did you have any questions for Cutright here?
Well, I think the big thing is, I was back in the day I was quarterback's coach.
Okay.
Paint Valley, and what the quarterback has to go through just pre-snap, getting a team ready and everything like that. Of course, you had that last year in senior led. What will the receiving core now do to kind of keep the quarterback up to speed? Do you think you guys will have the full playbook? Are you able to help him with that?
In practice, we kind of learned a different playbook, so it's kind of like new to us plus new to him, so it kind of like blends in together. So it's nice to like feel that.
Do you think that's kind of helping you guys build that rapport this year if you're going through a whole new playbook together with David?
Yeah.
It's kind of got to, because you got that bunker mentality of, it's you versus everybody in the SVC. You got that target in your back after winning last year. So we're excited to see you on the field this year. Now, we got to ask you, this is the Ride the Wave show, so we're going to ask the tough questions here. Deep journalism. We're going to do a start, bench, cut. Pizza, wings, burgers. Where are you doing? Where are you starting? Where are you benching? Where are you cutting?
I'm starting wings.
Good
I
choice.
love chicken.
Okay.
So, and then I'm benching hamburgers, cheeseburgers,
and then cutting that pizza out.
Yeah.
Well, before we get you out of here, where are you getting those wings from?
Me and my friends like to go to BOGO, like B-Dubs, buy one, get one free. So probably B-Dubs, honestly.
Awesome. Well, Kaden, thank you so much for stopping by, man. Congratulations. Thanks for coming out to the event.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you.
Third round goes with Gavin Kaufman, a QB out of Washington Courthouse. The third pick in the third round goes to Team Todd, and that is Blake Hoops.
Another pick off the board, another fly suit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In the third Silas Stewart. And then with the 5th pick in the 3rd round, we have, I'm getting messed up. We have Clay picking Trey Robinette, quarterback from Miami Trace. And then with the 6th pick in the 3rd round, we have Team Tony going with Gunner the Stunner McCullough.
Alrighty, so we have the 3rd round finishing. Just to give everybody a quick recap. What'd you say? Oh yeah, I forgot. Huh? Joey's next. Tell him to come over here. Yeah. So to recap that 3rd round, we have Mason Kelly going 1. Quarterback finally being picked up after 2 running backs there for Team Adam. Then we have another quarterback going with Gavin Kaufman going to Team Justin there. Then we have Blake Hoops here with a nice suit game going to Todd. That gives Todd a quarterback, running back, and wide receiver now. And then we have Team Bill getting Silas Stewart. So he is the same thing as Bill, 1 in each position. Trey Robinette going to me. 2 running backs and a quarterback there. And then we got Gunner the Stunner from Zane Trace going to Tony. He has 2 running backs and a quarterback here. So before we break down that round, we would like to introduce the one and only Blake Hoops here to the table. First off, man, Kaden got his suit on Amazon and it was fly. Where did you get? Is this another Amazon thing?
Yeah. So
okay.
Got it on Amazon.
So I'm doing my shopping at Walmart at the wrong place then.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Shades from Walmart as well.
I don't know. I just found them in my room.
So, Blake, we're going to ask you kind of the same thing we asked Kaden here. You know, you got a young quarterback. You have a very veteran receiving group here. You guys are coming back from winning the league last year. What are your expectations and thoughts going into this season?
Well, our expectations don't change. It's gold ball or nothing. So we've just carried that over from last season.
Now, we were kind of talking earlier, you know, a new playbook being in there with David Long. Do you feel like that's something that's helping you guys come together as a team to learn that together and go out on the field?
Yeah, I think the chemistry started off slow, but as the summers went on, we've definitely been able to figure it out.
Now, Coach Combs, do you have a question here for Blake?
Yeah, I guess I would just be interested from a year-to-year changing of not necessarily a role, but maybe just in terms of leadership. You guys had an impressive senior class last year. Obviously had been through a lot and obviously did a lot of winning. Now that group moves on, certainly plenty of talent returning, but I know how these things work year to year. Your role changes as a leader. Talk to us a little bit about maybe what that's been like throughout the offseason and into the preseason action here.
So our seniors last year were amazing at leading. They really filled that role pretty well. But we, us seniors, have sat down and we really talked about it, how we need to step up and be just like those guys.
Now, before we get you out of here, you know it's the Ride the Wave show. We're going to give you those deep, hard questions here. We did the wings, pizza, and burgers with you already. So we're going to mix it up here a little bit. All right, we're going fast food. I know you work at McDonald's, so we'll leave them out. If we had to go Taco Bell, Wendy's, and we'll go, let's see, we got burgers, and we'll go with KFC. Throw some chicken in there. Start, bench, cut. What are we doing?
What was the second one?
Wendy's, Taco Bell.
Starting Taco Bell for sure, and then I think Wendy's and KFC.
That's a smart choice.
Yeah.
That's a smart choice.
I know I have the inside information. They spends a lot more time at Jimmy John's.
Oh, yeah?
Jimmy John's.
I don't think he's spending the time there, though, for the subs. Blake, thank you so much for coming on, man. Congratulations and good luck on the season.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, guys, we have a few rounds gone here. Get Joey over here, and then get Silas and Gunnar to come over here together so we can do those. Alrighty? Yep, we got chairs. Joe, if you want to go ahead and go over there with that. So as we have Joey sitting down here, Coach Holbert, I want to ask you, you're looking over the teams. You're looking over the teams here. How are you liking the build of some of these teams? Who do you think has a nice upper leg so far?
I'm telling you right now, when we start looking at production, I came in here kind of looking at like just how the teams are going to do overall, just your normal football league.
Yeah.
Looking at that, and I think Piketon's going to have a decent team. So if Piketon gets the production that I think that they will have and put up the numbers, that they classically have put up before, the getting of Hoops kid, and if they produce, Todd's off to a start.
Yep.
If Todd gets a defense, this thing might already be over.
Yeah, and I told the guys out there, I said, if you're on Team Todd, just be happy that that's where he got drafted. But I will tell you one reason that I think Team Tony has a good shot this year is actually the last pick of the first round, the one, the only, Joey Wright. Thank you for joining us over here today, Joey. Now, we want to ask you, you guys lose Bryce Wickline. That's going to obviously be a big hurdle for you guys, but Coach Stepp seems to not be worried, not be phased. What is the mindset going into this year for these Mustangs?
We obviously want to win this year, especially when Bryce is gone. We got a young quarterback, A.J. Poddix, but he has stepped up since last year, so I think we'll be all right this year.
Now, you guys took that step last year, made the playoffs. Now you're kind of that upperclassman this year. Are you changing the way you're kind of approaching the season, trying to be more of a leader for the younger classmen?
Yeah, most definitely. Our goal this year is probably to make playoffs and hopefully win a playoff game this year.
Awesome. Now, Coach Combs, did you have any questions here for Joey?
Well, my first instinct is I remember watching you as a young player, kind of as a home run hitter. Every time you touch it, you just kind of, it's dynamic, right? Really quick, really fast. As you get older, you certainly haven't lost that ability to take it on any particular time. But as the carries go up and you're looked to be a little bit more of an every down back, and talk to us about how you think your game has improved as you become older and become more of a complete back.
I have way much more confidence now, and our line has grew way better than the first year that Stepp was here. So I trust them with all the blocks that they pick up. So mainly my line, and I just got more confident this year.
Now, Coach Holbert, did you have a question here for Joey?
Yeah, I'm going to show my age here. I played in the time of the 10-year war where Paint Valley and Westfall, won the SVC almost every year for 10 years. Can you kind of talk to you about the culture up at Westfall and how you guys are trying to reestablish that and get back to the top of the SVC?
Yeah, when Stepp came his first year, there was no culture, but he started rebuilding our culture, and now it's way better than when he wasn't coach. So I feel like we bond way better together.
Awesome.
Now, Joey, before we get you out of here, we do have to ask you the hard questions. All right, you got to start one, you got to bench one, you got to cut one. Pizza, burgers, and wings. What are you doing?
Start, pizza, cut. Wait, what was the other two?
Pizza, burgers, and wings.
Start, pizza, cut, burger, bench, wings.
That is a stellar lineup there. Now, where are you going to get your pizza from whenever you have to do that?
We live near Mount Sterling, so Larry's.
Okay.
We normally get it from there.
All righty. Well, hey, man, we are really excited to see what you Mustangs do this year. You specifically, you were a big fantasy guy last year. Expected big things out of you, and congratulations and thank you for coming here tonight.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Wright. All righty, and I think now it is almost time for the next round, but before we get there, we would like to have Gunner the Stunner and Silas Stewart coming in. If you guys want to take a seat over there, I'll get you some mics.
Hello. Testing.
Alrighty, well, after some technical difficulties there, we are back in action here now. We got Gunner the Stunner, we got Silas, Stewart here, guys. Thank you for so much coming out tonight, and thank you for being part of this draft process with us.
It's a pleasure.
Alrighty, so now I got to ask you here, Zane Trace had a pretty good end of the season last year, then you go into the playoffs. Obviously, we know having a pretty heartbreaking loss. Is that some extra fuel going into this year to kind of go after that SEC championship?
Yeah, we're coming back for it. We obviously won it all, but we got to take it one game at a time. Can't get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like playing quarterback more, obviously. I think that suits me a little better. And confidence-wise this year, last year I kind of got thrown into quarterback just out of the blue because obviously Carter got hurt. But this year I got a lot of reps, and I'm pretty confident this year.
Well, I think what's interesting about the Zane Trace group, we were talking a little bit earlier before the draft got started about how teams that have such balance, so many weapons across the board, you guys certainly have that. Talk to us a little bit about the unselfishness in terms of whoever gets the carry on that night or whoever's Friday night that might be. Talk to us a little bit about just the willingness to sacrifice the me for the we.
Yeah, I mean, we have Bryce Johnson. We obviously have a couple receivers that aren't starting, but they're still dogs, and we want them in there, so we rotate a lot, and it really helps our team out.
All right. Now, I do think we're about to start the 6th round here, so let's take a break, and then we'll be right back with this interview.
Sweet.
We are getting the 4th round underway here. First pick of the 4th round, Team Adam has Cody Schwartz from Waverly, a wide receiver. The second pick goes to Team Justin. They have Kaden Cutright, a running back from Southeastern. We have the third pick being Joey Francis, a wide receiver from Adina. Zane Williams, Ironton running back. And then with the 5th pick of the 4th round, we have Gage Cheetle from Southeastern. And the last pick of the 4th round for Team Tony is, I believe, Mason Dumper, a QB from Hillsboro.
Alrighty. So, a lot of good picks there, I think, guys, in that last round. Before we break that down, Coach, I know you had a question here for Silas and Gunner before we got out of here. Sorry.
So, I'm always like intrigued by your leadership of your quarterback and everything like that. I've studied these guys as quarterback coach back in the day. How much freedom and understanding of the playbook do you guys have at the line? Do you get a lot of checks involved? Can you orchestrate that, or are you guys pretty straightforward and knowing what you want to do, kind of script it out?
This is time we're pretty straightforward, but there'll be times where a coach will say, like, play's dead, and then he'll check something into the line, and I'll eventually tell it to everybody.
Now, even at that part, there's a lot of fans out there don't understand, as the play clock clicks down, you're starting to see that referee stick his hand up there in the air, someone's not in the spot or whatever, how much pressure starts coming on you? How much command does he have of his huddle and getting people into places and them listening to him?
I mean, Gunner's a really strong leader, and he knows everything in the playbook, and he's a really good player. So I think he could help everybody on the team get to where they need to be.
That's good to hear. Have confidence in your quarterback. That's really nice to hear.
All righty, guys. So you know you're at the Ride the Wave show. You know we're going to do the hard journalism here. So we got one last question for you before you get out of here, okay? We're going to do the start bench cut. It's been the question of the night. You guys start bench cut, pizza, wings, burgers. Gunna, you look like you're on the edge here, so I'll start with you, Silas. I'll give you Gunna some time to think about it.
I don't know, I'll probably start burgers. I love
Hey, nothing wrong with a good juicy burger, man.
Probably bench pizza.
Okay.
Cut wings.
So we're cutting the wings.
Yeah.
Now, where are you getting that burger from?
Oh, dude, I make some burgers at home.
He said, I'm getting it from myself. I don't need anybody else cooking for me. Now, Gunna, I'm going to go to you. Where are you going to go with these this start bench cut?
I'm going to start the wings.
Okay.
I'm a big chicken guy.
Now, where are you getting the wings from?
Ooh, either Roosters or Buffalo Wild Wings.
Two very good options. Cannot go wrong with either one.
I'll probably bench the burgers. I like burgers.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where they're from. I'll eat a burger anytime. But pizza, I like pizza too. But out of those three, that's probably
shocking that Pioneer Pizza does not make the cut for the Pioneers, but I get it, man. Burgers and wings, can't go wrong there. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Best of luck for the season, and we're really glad that you guys got to be able to
Thank you. I'm glad I could be here.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you guys so much. Silas and Gunna. Now, before we get the next guest over here, Coach Combs, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts so far after the fourth round has concluded here for the draft?
Well, I wanted to throw one thing out there that was on my mind earlier when he was mentioning the Python offense. I had a chance to do some media coverage of Waverly in the past year or whatever. That's an explosive offense.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of athletes there too. So I think a lot of times it's the individual. But just like in the college or the NFL, it's also a system. It's also a team that's going to spread it out, a team that's going to be dynamic on the offensive side. Like we mentioned, I think in the SPC alone, 5 or 6 different teams averaged like 28 or more points last year.
Yeah.
So the Waverly offense was one that jumped out at me. Some of those different systems really jumps out at me in terms of, man, those make some great picks in terms of, you know, you want people to score points. So
exactly.
Teams that score points are going to have some great fantasy.
And you know, with Mason Kelly, Cody Swords, there's going to be a lot of points there. Like you said, that's going to be a big, explosive offense there. Now, Coach Holbert, what are your thoughts going after the fourth round here?
You know, as a quarterback guy, I'd like to see that a lot of quarterbacks are coming off the board. I'd be interested to see what that translates to in fantasy points.
Yes.
I know a lot of times between the 20s where the quarterback makes hay.
Yeah.
Then we get inside the 20, and the running back gets it.
Right.
So
I feel like there could be like the Preston Faubers of the world,
yes.
where you know you got that read option, but at the same time, do you really have the option, or do you just give it to Braylon Robinson who carries 20 people into the end zone?
Well, I know as a coach, there's going to be a couple times you don't want to be the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Not giving Marshawn Lynch.
Just get Marshawn the ball on the 1 inch line. I would tell you guys, I think that I have the best pick here to steal someone like Gage Cheetle that late with a PPR league with him leading the receptions last year. You know, I can sit here and I can talk about how great he is all day, or we can have the one and only Gage Cheetle come and join us here at the table. Now, Gage, I will say, you know, some of the guys went the flashy route and everything like that. I still think you have a really great tight fit there. Talk to me about your bogey golfer life. Are you actually doing a lot of bogeys, or are we more of an Eagles kind of guy?
I just started golfing like probably a month ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, that wasn't off of Amazon, was it?
Nah, I got it off TikTok shop.
Oh, okay. The TikTok has no strike for the shopping. Now, Gage,
I actually have the 3-putt hat that I wear when I go.
they didn't make the 20 putt, so I wasn't able to buy one. Now, Gage, I want to talk to you. You know, you're coming into this year. You were the leading receiver last year with the most receptions. Big reason why I thought you were high on my board. My number one receiver, actually, just because, I mean, that's 65 points right off the rip there. How are you feeling that the offense is going to maybe stay the same or change a little bit going into this next year?
I'd say we'd be like more of a passing team this year. We have like a younger wide receiver coming up, Braden Burns. It'll open like more opportunities for me and him to get open. But I would still say in like the 60 range.
So you're another year older here. You got another year of experience. What's it going to be like now being an upperclassman, trying to help the younger classmen along the way here?
As far as like being an upperclassman, I'd say I'm trying to like take more people under my wing to teach them the same thing for when they get older, so they can lead their team in the same way as I do, and just to keep the dominance in the wide receiver room.
Now, one other question I want to ask you is, like, you guys had that big community day. You're out, you're helping the community, everything like that. What was something that you kind of gained out of that experience being around your teammates?
I'd say like kind of like team bonding. It was more of like getting to know everybody and to see like how much people want to help the community, and then just bonding with each other. That'd be most of it.
Heck yeah. Now, Coach Combs, do you have any questions here for Gage?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, on the fantasy side, the offensive ability and the ability to put up some points and some different things like that's one thing. I know you well enough to know you as a competitor, and you guys wanting to start to
I can't hear the headphones.
Get into the third and fourth quarter, more opportunities to win football games this year. Talk to us about the improvement on the defense and some of the things that you guys think you can maybe shore up that will allow the offense to maybe play in some of those tighter games in the second half.
Yeah, as far as defense, I'd say we need to work. Like we've been working like real hard on filling the gaps with the linebackers and between the line, and then our DBs. We've been working real hard on like trying not to get beat at all and staying tight with our man throughout like practice all day. But the main thing is I really would like to see our linebackers this year fill the gaps hard and close off that run.
Yeah, I feel like if you guys' defense steps up a little bit this year, you guys are going to be a team that really is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Think how dangerous they are into the second half offensively if they can put themselves in more one-score games.
Yeah.
They become really dangerous down the stretch.
Now, Coach Holbert, did you have any questions here for Gage?
Well, you know, I got the opportunity to call the game live with you last year.
Yeah, it was probably one of my favorite ones.
You guys and got to spend some time with the Southeastern group, and you know, that offense relies heavily on your talents. It really does, and I was impressed with route running and catching the ball is one thing. Being able to get one receiver open all the time and having to know motions, having to get into different places, having to do different reads out of your break. Kind of talk about how much the coaching staff and your quarterback kind of put on you to be in multiple positions and learn pretty much the whole playbook, I guess.
Yeah. So the coach really relies on me and Joey's relationship and how we really know each other because we've been playing since we were real little. And so, our relationship with each other, we got good chemistry as far as me and him. So he knows he can trust me whenever I need to get open, and I know I can trust him to get the ball there when I'm open.
Does every now and then you just kind of give him the, if I'm open or not, go ahead and squeeze it in?
Yeah. Tap on the head, give it to me.
Yeah.
Well, Gage, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for being part of this draft, man, and thank you for helping me win the fantasy championship.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gage Cheetle. All righty, we are going to take just a short break here, then we'll be right back with the 5th round coming up, so don't go anywhere. All right,
Second pick in the 5th round, Team Justin selects the first defense off the board, Ironton's defense. The 3rd pick of the 5th round, Team Todd selects Joey Pfeiffer, quarterback from Southeastern. With the 4th pick of the 5th round, Team Bill selects Mason Thacker, wide receiver from Piketon. With the 5th pick of the 5th round, Team Clay selects Jaden Toler. something. And then the final pick in the 5th round is Noah Haycock, a wide receiver from Washington Courthouse.
Alrighty, so that was a very interesting round 5 there. Had our first defense go off the board with Ironton, and then we had Adam stacking his wide receivers there, Cody Swords, then the great, the one, the only, the Cancun-loving Aiden Dunn. Aiden, thank you for joining us here at the table today. What does it mean for you to just be here and be on Team Adam, looking like a pretty stout team here so
far? It's a pleasure.
Now, I want to ask you guys, we talked with Gunna and we talked with Silas. They seemed pretty confident. I asked Gunna what it was going to be like for him now being fully in the quarterback role. What does that mean to you as a wide receiver, kind of knowing, last year, couldn't help it. You had the injuries to Kelly with him stepping in there, but you kind of know there's going to be a little bit more consistency at the quarterback. Does that have to be kind of pleasing to you as a wide receiver?
Yeah, I trust Gunner a lot. He puts the ball where it needs to go. He trusts his receivers that they can make a play. That's what we need.
Heck yeah. Now, Coach Combs, did you have a question here for Aiden?
Yeah, I did. I just really enjoy watching you play, really in space, and your ability to hit the home run. As I was saying earlier, just talk to us a little bit about all the different ways that you'll be able to touch the ball in the offense, because a lot of times it's not necessarily when we see a big pass play, it's not because it's all downhill. Sometimes it's just getting you the ball in space and letting you do your thing. Talk to us a little bit about the different ways we'll see you get the ball.
So we do jet a lot. That's probably Coach's favorite, jet and jailbreak. But Coach is trying to help Gunner throw the ball out this year, like with the backside post and the overside fades, because we know I have the speed to do it, and Gunner has one. Yeah.
Now, Coach Over, did you have a question here for Aiden?
Well, I mean, he brings in an excellent point there. As a guy that had to watch Andy Dalton not be able to stretch the football field for years.
The Red Rocket was out of fuel.
Yeah, I mean, if he's throwing it 5 or 10 yards, defenses can come down on you, and they can play that press coverage and the kind of the bracket over the top. That ability to throw the long ball, how do you think that's going to affect your numbers coming up? Do you feel like you'll be more wide open, or are you still going to be playing tight in those slants and jailbreaks? What's that going to do to defenses when you guys go against
I feel like the corners inside the valley are they're not as fast. Right. So I feel like I'll be wide open for the fades.
Yeah.
Well, that is not music to my ears, not having you on my fantasy team. I tried to take you the round before. Now, it's the Ride the Wave. We're going to ask you the hard questions before we get you out of here. We're going to that start bench cut. We did with you before, but we got to mix it up a little bit here with you. Now, I know we did the pizza, the wings, and the burgers with you already here, so we're going to mix it up a little bit. If you could play anywhere out of these 3 stadiums, obviously Ohio State Stadium, we're going to put who's your favorite NFL stadium? Or team, I guess.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks? Okay, so you can play at the Ohio State, the Seahawks Stadium, or you could play at the Super Bowl Stadium, which I think is going to be New Orleans this year, right? Or just go SoFi, LA. Which 3 stadiums would you rather play in?
I'm going to have to go Ohio State.
Ohio State? All righty. Now, you're a Seahawks fan. When did you become a Seahawks fan? Legion of Boom?
We had Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham,
yeah,
okay.
He's gone now, so I don't know. I just stayed with him because I didn't want a bandwagon.
Nice. Now, your wide receiver is your favorite player in the NFL wide receiver, or who do you think you maybe model your game after if you do so? Or you say, man, I'm Aiden Dunn. They're modeling the game after me.
I don't really watch NFL, so if I would say college, I'd say Worthy. Xavier Worthy.
Now, big question here. Are you playing EA college football?
I've played a couple times with Silas over there.
All right. Who's your go-to team?
Texas.
Oh, all right. He's a Texas guy.
Silas plays Ohio State with Michigan's playbook. That's what he does over there.
The trash talking between the teams already started with that NCAA. Well, Aiden, thank you so much for coming on here, man, and we are really excited to see what you're doing on the field this year, my brother.
It's a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aiden Dunn. Now, we do have Joey Pfeiffer about to join us here, coming over so we can get him in here, guys. What are your thoughts going out of that 5th round? First defense going off the board. How do you feel about that, Coach Combs?
Well, look, I mean, it's an important spot because you're playing it each week. I mean, obviously, I just mentioned all the points that's being scored throughout the air on a Friday night. So if you have a team, just off the top of my head last year, I think the top 5 teams in the league probably played okay defense, right around 15 to 25 a night giving up. But I assume that's a pretty big number.
Oh, yeah.
I've not played,
So they start off with 10 points right off the rip, too. So if they give up no touchdowns or anything like that, there's nowhere else to go but up.
Right.
So
That's my point. I know last year at the top, the SBC had a couple teams going to give up 15, 20. By the time you got through the bottom, you're starting to give up, almost triple that.
Right.
So, yeah, I get it. I mean, there's certainly probably more ball ways to score, but the defense is going to be a spot on your team each and every week.
Now, Joey, what are you thinking about after that round 5?
Well, I think that's just it. We saw the defense go off the board and the potential to score points there. I'm telling you, I think that Todd's missing out by not getting a defense.
Yeah.
I think that's what's just kept him from solidifying and winning this draft again. Now, he picked up, if I'm correct again, the man to my left here, he picked him up. Now in this flex league, you're telling me they can play multiple quarterbacks.
Yes, so we do have the super flex.
I mean, he's already putting up points. Guys, it's getting out of hand already, I think.
Now, we do.
If he gets a defense, I'm telling you, it's over.
As you mentioned, we have the slinger here, the guy that's getting Gage Cheetle those catches, the one and only Joey Piper. Joey, thank you for joining us here at the draft today. Now, everybody might be looking at your fit, but I think it's one of the sneakier best fits we got there. It's a nice color code there, not too flashy, but trust me, the ladies are going to love it, Joey. Don't worry. Now, we talked with Gage a little bit earlier in the draft here. I want to ask you as well, going into this season, it's your third one with Coach Blair. It seems like things are kind of really ramping up for you guys. What's your expectations and kind of like the feeling going into this season for these Panthers?
It's like everything is just a lot more serious this year.
Yeah.
There's a lot more work in. Everybody is. So I have really high expectations for this year. I think we'll do good.
That's good. I have high expectations for you to get it to Gage. I did want to ask you, I talked with Gage about this. You guys had that community day there for Southeastern. How did that kind of help you and affect you personally, getting to do all that for your community? Yeah, I know. It had been feeling kind of rewarding, you know what I mean, getting to be able to give back to the community and stuff like that.
And, where I'd like to jump in here with that, after spending some time with these guys last year where we did the game and talking to him and Cheetle as well, the coaching staff out there at Southeastern, as a coach, you love all your athletes.
Yeah.
You love all your athletes. And wins or losses, sometimes accolades are great and everything like that, but there's people that you coach that you've been around, and I can tell you that Southeastern program has some great human beings.
Yes, they do.
And things they're doing out there, I would coach it there in a heartbeat. Just to be around kids like that.
I 100% agree with you, Coach. We got to go out there last year together for that game day show as well. Nothing but great hospitality out there. Really just nothing but good. And honestly, like one of the nicer stadiums, I feel like kind of gets overlooked. They had a good view out there.
Yeah, and like with his answer there, to me, what I think he's stunned by sometimes, and I'm sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth there, is like, that's just what we do.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean what I got out? I got what we do. That's what we do. That's Panthers. Coach Cohen, did you have a question here for Joey?
Well, the biggest thing that jumps out to me is just watching you grow in all sports as a multi-sport athlete. Your particular class seems like it was thrown into the fire in multiple sports. And now as you get older, the success rate's starting to come up. Your role's starting to come up. Just talk to me a little bit about, is it becoming easier? Like, what is it from a leadership and the overall playing? It just seems like, you were started so young, and then each year you just keep getting better and better and better. I assume everything's kind of starting to slow down, and your confidence level's got to be pretty good.
I think we got some new coaches that are just really helping out this year, and I've learned a lot more just from one new coach we have. We got a new quarterback coach. He's taught me a lot more this year. So.
Now, Joey, before we get you out of here, we got to ask you the hard questions that we ask here at the Ride the Wave, okay? We do a start, bench, cut, pizza, burger, wings. What are you doing here? What are we starting, what are we benching, what are we cutting?
Probably going to start wings.
Good choice, starting the wings.
Bench the pizza.
Okay. And we're cutting the burgers out of there. All right, now, where are you going to be getting your wings?
Roosters.
That what kind? Are we getting that Carolina Gold, honey barbecue?
Mild.
Mild. Okay, so we've got a little spice in his life. All right. Well, hey, Joey, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for being part of 40 touchdowns. Hey, Todd has been on me that all night. He's throwing 40 touchdowns again. So, Joey, thank you so much for coming in, man. Thanks for being here at the draft.
No problem.
Joey Piper, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have one more interview that I'm actually also excited to hear. We have the best shirt of the night, gentlemen. They could be up in the air. I know Blake Hoops had the nice suit. I know Kaden Cutright had the bedazzle, but the color code and the Aztec vibe here from Jaden Toler with the hair, man. I mean, we're on full swag alert here. Tell me where you're getting that shirt and why it was the winner for the pick to fit tonight.
I don't know where I got it. My mom got it for me.
That's how you know it's a good shirt. Mom got it. Yes.
But I picked this. I just love all kinds of colors.
Yeah, man. Honest to God, I'm probably going to try and find that on Amazon tonight. Now, before we get any further, I think we have the 6th round coming up, so we'll listen to that, and then we'll get back to this interview. All right, Jaden?
Quarterback. Second pick of the 6th round, Team Justin has selected, I believe it is Hunter Hawk. With the 3rd pick in the 6th round, Team Todd has selected Elijah Brown. With the 4th pick of the 5th round, Team Bill has selected Bodie Wolford, quarterback from Jackson. With the 5th pick of the 6th round, Team Clay has selected Xander Mallory, a wide receiver from Washington Courthouse. And then with the 6th pick of the 6th round, Team Tony has selected Tanner O'Connor, a running back from McLean. So we are going to take a little bit of extra time between this round and the next one as we have some contests, so that way we can give away some prizes. The first one's going to be a water chugging contest, and the lucky contestants from the higher ups that pick are Aiden Dunn and Blake Hoops to get a little bit of rivalry going there.
Chugging water for today is an official Chill Coffee Paints mini bat as seen on Ride the Wave show. So it's worth some money, maybe 20 cents. All right? So Aiden, I'm going to ask you first, why do you think that you are going to win this water chugging contest?
I'm not. I can't chug anything.
I love the confidence we're going to do. We're standing back here. Now, Blake, what are your comments on how you're going to win this? I don't know. All right. So, hey, we've seen you and the other St. Trace fight it on the football field, the basketball court, and now we're going to see them battle it out for the water chugging champion. Ready? 3, 2, 1, chug. Here we go. Blake. Blake said that water has no chance. And Blake Hoops, winner of the Chill Coffee Paints. Baseball bat. Aiden Dunn goes. Round of applause for the contestants. There for for the water chugging contest there, guys. I didn't think Blake would get it down in 0.2 seconds. I thought we would give him at least a second there. Now, getting back to the draft here, Jaden, we were talking with Joey earlier. Obviously, losing Bryce is going to be a big hurdle for you guys. How have you personally and maybe as the team, combated going over that hurdle coming into this year?
I think we just we're really building a relationship with Quinn and AJ who's fighting for the spot.
Yeah.
But we're trying to just build the best relationship and just all be together this year.
Now, you guys started off last year kind of slow and then picked up really towards the end of the year, winning 3 of your last 4. Your last game being against Piketon, pretty much winner going to the playoffs, loser, your season's done. How did that kind of into the season help you kind of start off this season hot?
Just because I knew, I gave it my all for them seniors there. I want the same back from my team, so I'm pushing everybody to do the same for us 4 or 5 seniors.
Nice. Now, before I kick it over here to Coach Combs, I just want to ask you, man, being from Payne Valley, Coach has talked about the 10-year war. We know Westfall quite a bit, and I feel like every time I talk with either you or when we talked with Bryce last year or Coach Stepp, there's a lot of passion about you guys being a Mustang. What does it mean to you personally to wear that silver and red and play for those Mustangs those Friday nights?
It feels great. I'm happy I stayed at this school. I've been there my whole life.
Yeah.
I played football for them since 2nd grade, and I feel like if you don't work hard, you're not fit to be with us.
I absolutely love everything you're saying here. Coach Combs, do you have any questions here for Jaden?
Yeah, the number one Westfall question that jumps out at me is, I know we're here tonight fantasy-wise talking about numbers and offense and all that. Obviously, you guys have all sorts of weapons on the offensive side. Talk to us a little bit about the improvement you think you've made defensively that maybe could take a little pressure off of your offense and give you guys more of an opportunity to be competitive into the second half of more games at the top of the league.
Yeah, so some people we got, Connor Gear and Mason Wright, they're our safeties. They lead our defense really well, especially Connor, and then Joey being great at the linebacker spot.
Coach Holbert, did you have any questions here for Jaden?
Well, I think you hit on something that's very important, and I'm kind of glad that you said you're willing to step into that role and like that. Every team I've coached, I've always told the underclassmen, practice today for a senior because before you know it, you'll be one.
Yeah.
Man, don't take advantage of that time and then get to your senior and expect everyone to do it.
Right.
So leading by example and everything like that. Kind of really tell us, how you've embraced that leadership role. How your seniors, you guys got like a plan. Like, do you lead practice a certain way? What are you going to do to bring those younger kids along and set an example that might be there after you're gone?
So the way I've embraced it is I've always tried my hardest being an underclassman for those seniors, all the seniors I've played with. It's their last year.
Yep.
I want to give all my all for them.
Yep.
But the way we've stepped in, us seniors, is just building a connection. Like me at wide receiver, I have a good connection with all the wide receivers, and along with Joey with the running backs.
Yep.
I think
position groups.
Yes.
Position groups. You spend so much time with them. That's extremely important to have seniors.
And I think it's because, as you know, the coach can only say so much. Eventually, it's those upperclassmen in those position groups that are like, listen, guys, like this is how we do it. This is like coaches are just saying this to say it. Like look at me and look at somebody like you. I mean, you put in that work, and the work is shown on the field. I mean, sometimes last year it looked like people had ice in their to the ground because you beat them so bad. You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen by sitting on the couch and playing college football like some people. It happens by getting out there and working hard every single day. It's really paying off for you guys. And as you saw last year, man, you started fixing the little things, and it started impacting in big ways. I got to ask, Coach Stepp being there, he brings a lot of fire, a lot of passion. I mean, we can feel whenever we're interviewing. What's it like to be a player under him?
So, sophomore year, he came. Me and him have been a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I run my mouth a lot to him, but he does the same back. But just the way he stepped in, and he's done a lot for us. He's made me a lot better myself. He's made me try as hard as I can till the end.
That's amazing, man. I love to hear. I'm really expecting big things out of you guys this year. I'm glad I have you on my team, especially now with that shirt. I cannot say enough. That is my favorite shirt here tonight, fellas. Now, Jaden, before we get you out of here, we have to ask the hard questions here. It's the Ride the Wave show. It's how we roll. So we got a start, bench, cut. It's been the question of the night. Wings, pizza, burgers. What will we do? Start, bench, cut.
I'm a start the burger,
okay,
and then bench the wings and cut the pizza.
All right. I think that might have been one of the higher picks that we've had tonight so far.
Yeah.
Now, you're getting the wings. Where are you getting the wings from?
Yeah, Roosters.
You got Roosters. Okay, what sauce are we getting?
I get honey barbecue. I don't like spicy.
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with it, man. Honey barbecue used to be my jam. All righty, well, hey, Jaden, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for wearing that shirt. I'm not kidding. I buy that shirt. You'll see it very soon on me. Probably not looking as good, though. So, Jaden, thank you for coming out tonight, man. We hope you have the best of the season.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Jaden Toler, everybody. Now, we do have one more guest that arrived late here, and before we have him come on, because we have talked about him a lot this year with the Piketon offense, I'll go to you first, Combs. Going and having another year in. They lose Zane Brownfield, though. My biggest worry for them is not the talent. I feel like Zane Brownfield was a big leader for that group last year. So how do you replace? I'll ask this for both of you guys. How do you replace a leader like that in the locker room? Is it the coaches kind of try and push one on, or is it kind of just the players come together and you kind of just see which one steps up over the other ones?
Well, in the perfect world, in all the years I've done this, you take a young man that you're just describing there, and you hope that your culture and his leadership, he just talked about it in the Westfall program, the way the people before you do it, you start to pass it on, and then you start to pass it on, on. I know this about Coach Gallion. The Piketon football program has that ongoing culture that passes from one group to the next, and I know that's a really big roster. I know it's a really old roster, so all of those young men have come up knowing the Piketon way, knowing the way that the people before them have done it. So in the perfect world, Coach, I don't know how you feel about it. You would love to see the domino effect just keep working its magic.
Yeah, I mean, it's next man up that comes in. The thing that you cannot do, I've seen it happen too many times, is someone's going to label the leader.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. The leader emerges. The coach doesn't pick the leader. A leader doesn't just say, look at me. The team picks the leader.
Yeah.
And what it does, how it happens is, what do I do before practice? What do I do in pre-practice?
Yes.
How many reps do I get? How hard do I go in those reps? Then I have the ability, if I catch everyone's eye, to come over and say, hey, you need to pick it up.
Yeah.
If I'm the senior that's out there yelling at the freshman, hey, make sure you get this bag and carry my helmet and everything like that, well, good
You're
luck
not going to be a
with
leader.
it. Yeah, good luck with it.
No, and that's what I think, too, is like the leader isn't just always the best player or the quarterback. It's the guy that, what you say, has control of the locker room. Even the lowest totem pole freshman can go up to him and feel like they're able to talk to him about what maybe is going on the field or maybe even off the field. So while we're talking about Piketon, I'd like to introduce the one and only Buddy Wilson over here to come in for the interview. Buddy, we'll get you right over there with that headset, okay? No, you're all right. Just looking to make sure I know exactly where. Yep. So, Buddy, thank you again for coming on. We know that you were a little late because of the practice, which makes total sense. Got to get that work in. You were the first Piketon player off the board going Team Todd, and as we have been talking over here, it's looking pretty stout. He actually has you and Luke on the same team here. So I got to ask you, we're talking about you guys lose Zane Brownfield last year, a big leader. What's the locker room been like, trying to maybe find that next leader of the group heading into this year?
Right now, we're just trying to work as one. Zane was one of our best players, by far one of our best players on defense last year. But we got some upcomers. We got White Savage.
Yeah.
He's a good little player.
Yeah.
And we just need to work as one because last year we were
right.
Yeah.
Because last year you guys started off real hot, 4-0 there. And then towards the end of the season, it kind of didn't go the way that you guys would want it to go. That's your certificate there for being drafted. That as a senior, and seeing how the way last year you were a big play just waiting to happen. A lot of your runs, 20-plus yards. How have you, as being now the upperclassman, carried that weight on your shoulder of, I'm ready for us this year to take that next step, make the playoffs, and make a run?
I'm going to be honest, you're going to have to repeat that.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear.
Oh, it's okay. So how have you this year taken the on your shoulders of leading the team to the playoffs and taking that next step this year?
Well, everything that's happened last year, all of our errors, I seen it all. And I know what we can work. I know what work we need to do. And I have a good feeling about this year. As soon as we finish out games, I think we're going to do good this year. Once our team's able to put it together, we'll be a good little team.
Yeah, and we've been talking. You guys have a really explosive offense. We're expecting big things out of it. Coach Holbert, did you have a question here for Buddy?
Well, I saw. I'm going to kind of relate this to this whole fantasy thing here. I'm new to the fantasy thing. I'm more on the football side of it. So translate that. When you get inside the 20, how much do you think the playbook is going to go to you? And how much are you going to make that a focus of finishing off drives and getting your team in the end zone?
Really, I don't focus on me. I just go with my team. Just let them do their thing. It's them guys, or I'm not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah. That's a great answer, man. That's an answer you don't get a whole lot out of a young man like this. Coach Combs, you have a question here for Buddy?
Well, the number one thing that jumps out at me is, even though the year maybe didn't end the way you guys wanted to, I know I watched 3 football games that could have easily went the other way, and we're talking about maybe 1-2 snaps of the football in those games, and we're talking about a completely different story. So attention to detail. With your experience as you come into practice and different things, I noticed Piketon has a big roster. It's starting to become an older roster. A lot of older guys.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, are you recognizing in practice and maybe, and I don't know if you can give us an example, but just that attention to detail and recognizing how small the difference is between winning and losing in terms of practice. Do you see that recognition in practice and the attention to detail throughout the preseason so far?
Yeah, all right. Last year, Paint Valley, right?
Yep.
We were up. We didn't finish our games. Coming out that second half, we just came out and got hit in the face. Paint Valley was a good team. I'm not saying it was bad, nothing. But going in to practice, thinking we're going to put together a team, we're going to put together a whole game, and we're going to go our full 100% all the way through. That just gives us drive. And lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's the best, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. And you were right. You guys were and Coach said you were right there. It's focusing on those little things, and it sounds like you're saying in practice you guys are kind of understanding that. Which, as you know, Coach, as you know, it kind of only happens with experience. You gotta kind of have it fall apart before you understand what you gotta do to move forward.
And as coach, I've been blessed to coach multiple sports. I think like 5 varsity sports in my lifetime. Football, and I'd like to hear from your perspective here of how you guys put together the orchestration of a football game.
Yeah.
From the kicking game to offense to defense to having a kid that's on, might be a JV player on the punt team.
Yeah.
Run out there, and then someone gets hurt. Who's his backup? Who's going in? How are we doing this? How are we executing? Having that older roster and that bigger roster, and having those kids that might be dedicated. Do you guys feel like your overall special teams, your offense, defense, your sub packages? Do you believe in your overall roster? Are you bringing a lot of kids in? Where some schools may have to be focusing on 11 kids.
Yeah,
kids.
you're playing the kickoff, the punt, the offense, and the defense.
Yeah. We don't look at just the main 11. We're going to put in our best.
Yeah.
Our special team is just as good as our offense. Our special team helps us better with our defense, help with our offense.
Yeah.
We're going to put in our best players. And once we see the lower classmen that's better, we'll put them in.
Yeah.
Anything that helps our team, we'll see it, we'll do it.
And I hear I hear no me, I hear no I just hear team. Is that something that Coach Goyen is putting into you guys of saying like, hey, it's not just about one man, it's about the whole team?
That's the one thing he taught me as soon as I was in 7th grade. That's the first thing he taught me. He says, it's team or you're not playing.
Now, before we get you out of here, we have one of your biggest supporters. I know he wants to get in here and ask you a couple of questions. Tony, come on in here.
Buddy, my guy, are we thinking more receptions this year? I'm telling you right now, let him get the dump offs. I saw this man take a 72-yard reception last year. I want to see more of it, man. There's quick dump offs. Let them be a safety valve. Is there anything going on in the offense that allows you to kind of break outside and maybe just be that guy if he doesn't have somebody else to go to?
Maybe. You never know.
He's looking
Can't give the inside secrets. You don't know. Buddy, it's a damn pleasure to see you, man. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you. Hey, thank you.
Best of luck to you. Well, I'll tell you, while they're in the break, I just want to get your take on it a little bit. You and I, as coaches and administrators and things like this, what makes it so cool for an event like this is just the recognition that kids are getting. You know what I mean? Like, the media has grown so much over the years. What's just your opinion on an event like this when we think back to our playing days, right? You'd eat this stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Just what's your take on terms of how we are able to recognize kids in such a more dynamic way now?
Well, and they're all interconnected through social media anyhow. It's not as siloed. So them getting out and celebrate together is kind of a neat thing in itself that way. It's just kind of the new age thing. I know we were putting it on the Gazette so much back in our day for all that stuff.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. Well, we are coming here. We only have about 3 rounds left here in the draft. Before we get on to this next round, to me, as much as I hate to say it, still seems like Team Todd is going to be the team to beat going into the season this year. Coach
Jackson quarterback. What
yes.
did he go?
So Jackson's quarterback, Bodie Wolford, ended up going to Team Bill. So let's break his team down. He has Sean Terry at the wide receiver, Preston Fauber, Silas Stewart, Zane Williams out of Ironton, Mason Thacker, and Bodie Wolford right now on his team.
Man, that seems awfully low.
Yes.
That's kind of a steal this late in the draft. That's
yes.
a young man.
And then came around and got the Wheelersburg defense. So him and Todd as being the first years into this. Looks like those might be the 2 teams to beat. Let's see how.
You're saying in the lineup that, like, Fauber and Wolford can both play because of the different rules.
Yes, so how it would be is like one would be the quarterback and then one would just be in the super flex. But you can also take that super flex, say you don't go the double quarterback route, you just need that extra wide receiver for 4 wide receivers or 4 running backs. It's right there for the taking. I'm excited to see where we go here late in the draft. I know we have some defenses that still need to come off the board here. Joey, if your team, let's go to Team Tony here, because he's the late in the round. We're not doing the stake. We're just starting and going. So he's the last pick every round. But he's still been able to take off Joey Wright. Julian Baker's a great running back out of Miami Trace with a great offensive line ahead of him.
Really good offensive line.
And then you got Gunner, the son of Mason Dumper, and Nate Haycock. Here we go with the next round.
Pick, Team Adam selected Vinton County's defense. With the second pick, Team Justin picked Kay Evans, wide receiver from Washington Courthouse. With the third pick in the 7th round, Team Todd has selected C. Badger, wide receiver from Chillicothe. With the 4th pick of the 7th round, Team Bill has selected Wade Fout from Pikeland. Coming up. Perfect. With the 5th pick of the 7th round, Team Clay selects Sean Smith, running back from Chillicothe. And the final in-person pick, Team Tony has selected Gabe Beardsley, wide receiver from Huntington.
All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, so that is all the people that have been picked that are here tonight. We have 3 rounds. We're going to go through them real quick just so everybody knows where they finished. Before we do that, it will only take about 30 seconds for to rattle off. We love all players and Coach Combs and Coach Holbert to come up here for a picture for all the draftees and being in attendance tonight.
Even if you're not a draftee, you didn't get drafted, come up for a picture.
Any players here, come on up, get pictures. Yeah. Sweet. We'll start here, just build our ways up here. Any parents that want pictures, go ahead and come on up and let's get some pictures.
Again, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. We appreciate it. Kids, we love that you came here, that you participated in this. You guys are basically the pioneers of this draft. So we're hoping to build on this. We're hoping to raise some more money to be able to do bigger and better things and give away some bigger and better gifts. Also, there's plenty of food left. Take you a burger to go, please.
I'd like to just say one thing before you guys all get out of here. Again, like we've all said, thank you for coming. This whole thing started just because, I played in the SBC, Adam played in Benton County, Tony is from Philadelphia, so we can't all be perfect, but he's still here to help. But really, we've been seeing how, things have gone with the coverage and everything like that, and as well as it's been, we want to just add a little bit more fun for these kids here in this community. I mean, you guys know you're their parents. They're going to 2-a-days. They're working their butts off. They're going to school. And we always kind of feel like, Southern Ohio athletes didn't get the recognition that they've always deserved. Everybody thinks they have to go to a big city like Columbus or Cincinnati or Dayton to try and get recognized. And, we just think that was fair because there's just nothing like this small community that we have here. We've got to do a lot of great things. We got to raise a lot of great money, but we did not do that ourselves. All of you guys sitting here is the biggest reason we get to do any of this, and the biggest reason we do all of this. We don't do this for the paycheck. I promise. We do this for the smiles. My favorite thing I get to see is the smiles on the kids' faces and just getting to have that quality time with their parents and coming out for a great time. So again, we can't do this without you guys. So I'd love for you guys to give yourselves a round of applause before we get out of here. Now, as we finish up here, we're going to rattle off the picks for you guys, get you out of here. Thank you so much for staying in with us. The next pick was from Uniota, their quarterback, David Long. Round of applause. And then coming right after that pick is the Uniota defense. Do we have somebody from the Uniota defense here tonight? Come up and get, there we go. Round of applause for their defense. Yep. Alrighty. And then with the next pick in the 8th round, we had Lane Hayborn from Benton County. Then we had Bryce Johnson from Zane Trace. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Then we have our next defense off the board with Paint Valley's defense. Team Todd is starting to look a little too stacked for my liking. And then we have, here we go. T.D. Matesic from McLean. Then we have Jackson's defense going off the board.
Brandon Moore from Eastern, Tyler Roach from Ironton, Braden Schreck, quarterback from Ironton, and then Eastern's defense. And then to start the 10th round, we have Eli Ray, wide receiver from Jackson. And then we have Juan Miller. He's a super flex because he plays literally every single position on the field, so we couldn't put one on him. Then we have Isaac Taylor from Huntington, running back. It's going to be fun to watch him step up this year. Then we have Camden Cooper, wide receiver from Payne Valley, and Hayden Hirsch from Huntington. So let's give them a round of applause. And then to start our last round, pick 1 to Team Adam is AJ Pottix, quarterback from Westfall. Then we have Owen Sykes, pick 2 to Team Justin. And then we have Alex Young, wide receiver from Washington Courthouse, going to Team Todd. Nick Burns, wide receiver from Hillsboro. Carte Ligon, wide receiver from Chillicothe. And our mystery relevant pick, but I will say the last pick of the draft last year was top 4 in wide receiver, so you just never know how it goes, is Kaden Inkos, wide receiver, Miami Trace. Let's give all the draftees one big round of applause. Thank you guys for coming out. Make sure you get some food on the way out of here, and make sure any pictures, please send this to us so we can have them in our memory books. Thank you so much for coming out, guys.
There's to-go boxes down by the pizza. There's some hot dogs that look like Slim Jims by now, but feel free to take those also.
Well, again, guys, a pretty cool event. I mean, it's just kind of fun to be a part of. I was joking earlier with the start, bench, and cut. Maybe that's been my problem with the calories all these years. I think I'm starting all three. Maybe I need to do a better job of balancing that out.
When it comes to food, there's not really much I cut, honestly. I cut it in half so I can eat it a little easier, but that's about it.
Hey, you've had a little bit of a different role tonight than we have. I'd love to get your take. I'll just kind of open it up to you, like just your first response to the overall event tonight.
Honestly, I'm just glad of the turnout we had. Compared to last year, it's way better. I think we had like maybe 2 people turn up, and that's because Clay, I think, paid them. So, but yeah, no, anytime you just give back to the community like this a little bit, it's just something that you got to enjoy. So, I mean, anytime we can do something like this, it's just loads of fun.
Well, I know you and I talked earlier about just how you and I are in the business of kids, so anytime when you're highlighting kids, that makes it for a pretty special evening.
Yeah, I mean, it's also nice for kids to get out and enjoy each other before the season. I know we have the banquets afterwards. Some kids get to do that. But just get to socialize before they get into that grind of the season. And of course, the summertime. Summertime grind is football is unbelievably tough. So something for them to get out, have a little enjoyment, get some recognition before the season starts. And then I just know the communities around here, once Friday Night Lights start happening, then it's going to be siloed in each one of those schools, and the pride will come out from there.
Something else I just wanted to talk about is just I just want to actually thank the parents for coming out, because without the parents letting the kids come out and stuff like that, letting them play sports in general, it really doesn't. You don't have it without the parents and without the kids. So I just want to say thanks to the parents as well.
Well, yeah, and it's as a parent of an athlete, getting to share these times with their athletes. You guys have provided time here where they get to some kind of inside access. I know I'm lucky as an administrator. I get to go to all the banquets and celebrate with those. It's an administrator, coach, and there's all SVC selections that all get to go in. Parents sometimes don't get to see that behind the scenes stuff. This is something neat for them to get to experience with their athlete as well. So that's a unique experience for the parents.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're all about. Is just trying to be as I guess the word I would look for is genuine, I guess. Try to be as genuinely good for the community as we can. But I say Now, I didn't really get a chance to come over here like last year. I was back and forth between the podium and over here. So how was it over here on the table side of things?
Well, I was just so impressed with how well spoken all of our student athletes were. It's the number one thing that jumped out at me. You know what I mean? We take it for granted as adults. You know, we public speak and we do this, and this stuff doesn't bother us or whatever. But you know, when you're that age and so forth, and you start to grow up in an area of the not just social media but actual media and interviews and different things like that, I was just real impressed with these young men and the way they handled themselves. You can certainly see where they'd be a pleasure to coach.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get that live mic in front of you, and you know it's going to be played back, and in a day of social media, it's just not in the happening. You know, I remember like getting interviewed by WKKJ after a game. If I messed up, as long as you weren't listening to that interview, you didn't hear it again. These live on and on and get traded around now.
I will say, me personally, when I was in high school, I probably would have never came in front of a mic. Just too shy, not well spoken enough, would come off like an idiot. I don't think any of these kids ever come off anything other than just very intelligent.
Yeah, could you imagine giving me a microphone in high school? Yeah, there's a reason I was never on WKKJ.
Probably had some other options.
Yeah, basic employee option number one. So guys, before we wrap up here again, thank you guys so much for being here and being the brains of this operation. How are we feeling? I think it's been, the tale of the night. Somebody needs to figure out how to beat Todd. I think Todd's team has a great team here.
Well, I have to, before we even get to Todd's team, I have to say, your homer selection of the Vinton County defense.
Yeah, I had
that was called. That's called into question. There, number one. I mean, we saw it coming. You know, I think when you're in this business, you know, you're going to have to be a little bit more, you know, down the line.
Hey, at least whenever I'm homered, it's Paint Valley.
Well, so that's what I was leading up to. So,
which I did not get a whole lot.
So Todd has just won this by selecting Paint Valley's defense. I mean, they got the best defense there is. They're going to win the gold football. It's all the way down there. I mean, after that selection, it's pretty much game.
Solidified game over here. Now, again, we do want to reiterate that, say, for instance, Kaden Cutright plays both sides of the ball. He gets an interception, takes it back. He gets 7 points himself here. So, Coach Combs, with that in mind, here's some players that you think will shine, that already are going to shine, but maybe shine more just with those rule settings in place.
I want to pay close attention to the quarterbacks in terms of, I understand the value of a running back, especially in high school football, if it's one of those guys that's going to touch it 25, 30 times. Today's offenses, though, when you have 2 or 3 of these quarterbacks, they're not only going to throw it for 2,000 yards, they're going to run it for, maybe 1,500. And I would pay close attention. There was some steals later in that draft at the quarterback position that if they start combining with their original pick at quarterback, that could be a swing. So, again, I didn't pay attention to the scoring. I heard you guys talk about who is ahead and who's not. So you would know better than me in terms of, because a lot of the older fantasy, like NFL fantasy, you don't play a lot of 2 quarterback things. I would just be curious at the high school level to follow the quarterback position this year and how that impacts some of the things.
When you talk about the late round QBs, I think the 2 that you have to put a star on are the first pick of the last round, AJ Podix. If he wins that QB battle out at Westfall, he's going to be a factor. And then if you look at Hayden Hirsch, he stepped into Noah Potter's role from last year. And Noah Potter, as good of an athlete was, he climbed the scales with a lot of his legs. And I think, another year in the system for Hayden Hirsch. He played varsity a little bit last year, not at the quarterback position, but, varsity's not going to be new to him. I think that could be another steal for Team Tony that could really turn his team around.
Waverly and Jackson quarterbacks went a little bit later than I expected, too. I keep an eye on those two.
Mason Kelly was the number.
Bodie Wolford is he's one of my people that I would say is like a steal of the draft.
Yes.
If I had to, just because he's so late. And I think that Jackson offense is going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say pass heavy, but they will pass a little bit more than they have in recent years, but that's just my opinion.
Now, if we go off of the people that weren't drafted tonight, big thing that popped out to me was the Eastern wide receivers. They're going to be pass happy a lot this year. They got my biggest question, though, for them, I know that their players are going to be good. How do they factor in, with it being a draft? I think I'd like to see a week or 2 of those wide receivers in play to see kind of which one that you think maybe could favor, or if it's just going to be a Russian roulette of which one's going to pop off that week. Is there any players that you guys see that didn't get drafted tonight that you think could be either picked up later in the season, or maybe we're just, I don't want to say overlooked, just, possibly could be picked up off of that free agent waiver wire?
Well, I think without just saying someone, I think what you're going to see is the preseason scheduling.
Yeah.
So, like a Westfall, generally's preseason schedule is brutal.
Yes.
They're going to play some mid-state league teams. They're going to do some things like that you might start looking and going, ooh, what I do here, or who's going to pop up. Where a couple other teams are like looking at like, hey, if we get 3-0 here, we're set up for playoffs in the new playoff system.
Yeah.
So you might see some teams playing some where their offense gets going a little bit more, that you might say, oh, this is going to be something else, and then you hit the SVC.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of things in play there that first 3 weeks that I don't know if you're going to have your answer in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's going to, like you're saying, probably more into the week 2 of the league play. You know what I mean? Coach Combs, what about you?
You being from the Benton County side of things, it's an interesting question for you. Do you guys sense, and I think this is a credit to what you guys are doing in terms of the coverage of the entire area, I know I'm far more familiar with the SBC, maybe just the surrounding areas. We're talking about Waverly and Jackson, and Benton County's had talented kids, even Chillicothe being in another conference. It'll be interesting to follow the draft 2-3 years down the road and the exposure you're bringing to the entire area. Do you think that plays a role in terms of some of those outside or immediate areas slipping in the draft a little bit?
Honestly, I think so, yeah. And that's another reason why I'll try to be a little bit of a homer for Benton County, is just to try to get a little bit more kids picked in there.
I was going to bring that up, too, is that if you look at Team Tony, he went for the outside the area because he didn't let it kind of play on his.
I think he saw that going early in the second round. He goes, okay, they're going all SEC. I'm going. I mean, the Miami Trace running back, the Havecock at Washington Courthouse. I think we are really overlooking him as a big pick for his team. I think there are going to be some Benton County kids just where they've had a new offense. We just don't know who those stars are going to be.
I will say the biggest thing is they graduated 19 seniors last year. So I think that's something else that's kind of like nobody really knows them. I mean, I don't even really know them too well. But when it comes to their defense, Marcus Games is just I have so much respect for him. I just can't count his defense out, really.
Now, let's get some final thoughts here. Well, actually, before we get to that, I wanted, Marco, when you said we talked about the media coverage. I don't know if it's so much, because I do feel like Waverly does get a lot of media coverage. One notable guy that I pretty much asked this question just so I could talk about this kid. Mason Sparks out of Waverly, the wide receiver. I went to a 7-on-7 with Waverly, Hillsboro, Adina. I think that was the 3 teams. Mason Sparks was just, you could have never watched football in your entire life and knew that kid was a player. And it was more of like, he was being thrown the ball and he wasn't open, but he was still coming down with the ball. He makes himself open. So I think that could be a big name that you see get picked up maybe week 2 or 3, or if you're a guy later in the season, maybe a wide receiver goes down and you're still trying to make that playoff push fantasy-wise, he could be a guy that you either pick up or somebody else picked up you can maybe trade for. And I think he could be a league winner while not being the top player maybe on your team. Closing thoughts here on the draft. Coach Combs, I'll go to you. What are your takeaways from tonight in the teams and players that we got to see selected?
I just absolutely love anything. Like, as someone who's coached for 29 years, I've also started to get into, I don't know if I'd call it media, but I guess that's what it is over the last 15 years as well, and overlapping a little bit. And the big reason why is a lot of what you said when you were up at the podium there about just the coverage. So I just think to me, anything that shines a light on student athletes doing things. I mean, obviously all of us sitting here believe in sports. We believe in high school sports and what they represent. So when I get an opportunity, and I appreciate you having me, to do something like this, that's by far my number one takeaway tonight is just how cool it is to be able to highlight kids in this way.
Coach Hobart?
Same thing, too. Is, as coaches are teaching kids to become, in this draft, young men, young ladies are doing their thing in volleyball. Cross-country golf's going on all at the same time, too. Those things that you're taught and you learn from sports, it's really cool to see it come through in the interviews over here. And they talking about being a good leader. Talking
one
about
that pops out is the Buddy Wilson thing. I don't think he said the word me or I the entire
and he wasn't going to. You weren't going to trick him into doing
I tried.
it.
I definitely tried. Now, Commish, what are your takeaways from the second annual, by far the biggest draft that we've had so far in our short history?
It went a lot smoother this time.
Yes, because a lot of reasons why it went smoother than it did last year.
The last time we had it, we all had a lot of liquid refreshments. It's not the best to be running.
No liquid courage tonight on these picks. Well, guys, I just want to thank you so much for coming out, being a part of this. You guys are always our number ones. It's always love. For me, just being able to be coached by you guys and have it come full circle, it's amazing to be here. Thank you, everybody at home that tuned in to watch the second annual Wire the Wave draft. You missed out on some good food, so there's always next year to come in. But we thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you guys. And it's just another great year to shine some light on some amazing kids around here, and I definitely am going to win the Fantasy Football League. So peace out, Girl Scouts, and we will see you this coming Tuesday with some big interviews. Cindy Hauserman coming on to talk about why the Olympics are amazing and women dominating basketball every single year. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Peace out, Girl Scouts.